Hi, my name is Krystal Park,
And my name is Daniel Calderon.
and today we'll be talking about two pieces of work. The first piece is Michelangelo's Madonna of the Stairs.
This is really one of Michelangelo's first truly mysterious works.
This relief sculpture was made in his teenage years in 1491 and is housed in the Casa Buonarroti in Florence.
Gee whiz, what does relief mean?
The term relief is from the Latin verb levo, which means to raise. It's a technique in sculpture where it gives the impression that the sculpted material has been raised above the background plane.
And how is that different from a freestanding sculpture?
I'm glad you asked. So it's different from a freestanding sculpture because it is less fragile and more securely fixed.
It looks strange at first sight. There are many little incongruities.
You're right. One may wonder why Christ's back is turned and why he's so muscular as a baby.
Also, why did Michelangelo include stairs?
To completely understand the meaning behind the figures of this sculpture, one needs to step into the shoes of the sculptor.
It is believed that Michelangelo needed to purify his soul so he could create perfection in his work.
During his creation of the Madonna of the Stairs, Michelangelo became Christ, so he could convey Christ's infant state.
So we can see here that Christ's back is turned in the sculpture because the baby Christ is working on the sculpture of the Virgin Mary.
It's true. So essentially, Mary is stone and Christ is alive.
And what's interesting about this is that it is said to be the first work of art that Christ and Mary's gazes don't connect in any aspect.
In this sculpture, Michelangelo is depicting Mary and Christ as being in different realities.
And we can also see that the third figure in the sculpture is Michelangelo's alter ego, helping Christ sculpt Mary. The third figure is using the stairs to reach Mary's face.
Doubling is a common characteristic that Michelangelo uses in his work. Basically, he is portraying himself in duplicates.
And in this particular piece, he is represented through Christ and as the infant on the stairs.
Stairs and ladders usually represent humans and earthly things approaching the divine. It's like a sacerdotal intermediary, a connection from earth to reach something above and beyond this world.
One can also say that infant Christ is also placed very strategically. He's placed at Mary's breast. This symbolizes Michelangelo's attaining his artist's power from the Virgin's milk.
Michelangelo was truly a supreme artist who gave deep thought and meaning to each aspect of his work.
His artwork can be fully understood only if the observer is willing to step into his shoes and think like he might have thought while creating his work. Now we're looking at The Last Supper. The Last Supper is a late 15th century mural painting by Leonardo da Vinci in the refectory of the Convent of Santa Maria delle Grazie, Milan.
The Last Supper is the final meal that, according to Christian belief, Jesus shared with his apostles in Jerusalem before his crucifixion. The Last Supper is commemorated by Christians, especially on Maundy Thursday. Moreover, the Last Supper provides the scriptural basis for the Eucharist, also known as Holy Communion or the Lord's Supper.
One can see that Leonardo rendered a verdant landscape beyond the windows, often interpreted as paradise. It has been suggested that this heavenly sanctuary can only be reached through Christ.
This painting shows the 12 apostles are arranged as 4 groups of 3. There are also 3 windows. The number 3 is often a reference to the Holy Trinity in Catholic art. In contrast, the number 4 is important in the classical tradition.
One can see here that the overall narrative that is shared in all gospel accounts that leads to the Last Supper is the triumphal entry into Jerusalem early in the week, and the encounters with various people, and that afterwards Jesus and his disciples share a meal at the end of the week.
There are key events portrayed in this meal. There are things that are used as the preparation of disciples for the departure of Jesus, the predictions about the impending betrayal of Jesus, and the foretelling of the upcoming denial of Jesus by Apostle Peter.
One can see that St. Andrew, with his long gray beard, lifts up his hands, expressing the wonder of a simple-hearted old man. And St. James Minor lays his hands on the shoulder of St. Peter with an expression portraying, "Can it be possible? Have we heard right?" We can also see Bartholomew at the extreme end of the table, that he has risen protrude from his seat. He leans forward with a look of eager attention, his lips parted as he is impatient to hear more.
In the Bible, in the book of John, when asked about the traitor, Jesus states, "It is the one whom I will give this piece of bread when I have dipped it in the dish." Then, dipping the piece of bread, he gave it to Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot.
The Bible also talks about Jesus as reiterating, despite each of the apostles' assertion that he would not betray Jesus, that the betrayer would be one of those who were present, and saying that there would be woe to the man who betrays the Son of Man. It would be better for him if he had not been born. In Matthew and John, Judas is specifically identified as the traitor.
There are many things that have happened to the painting of the Last Supper that has left it in terrible condition. Soon after the painting was completed in February 9, 1498, it began to deteriorate. By the second half of the 16th century, Giovan Paolo Lamazzo stated that the painting is all ruined. Over the past 500 years, the painting's condition have been seriously compromised by its location, the materials and techniques used, humidity, dust, and poor restoration efforts. Modern problems have included a bomb that hit the monastery, destroying a large section of the refectory on August 16, 1943.